All right, so we're almost at the structure that we're building, and we looked, and that's where we are, is up there. Not the very far mountain, but the one in front of it. So we're looking up there, and the sun's hitting it, and me and SNDSs are seeing. Go ahead and describe it.
It's
you can
on my bed.
Okay, you can see it on here a little bit. Yeah.
It's like just a little faint, bright, shiny something.
That's the top of or the side or something. The sun's hitting it just right. We left like super duper early. We didn't get very much sleep at all. So now what are we doing?
Snuggling. It's cold.
We're just resting a little bit before we get to work. Take a little nap.
We had like 3 hours of sleep.
Maybe. All right, we had to bring water up here because we don't have a well yet. So this is what we got to do here to get this going.
I didn't do it right. I was not doing it right. Oh, there she goes. Just kidding, I did it right.
All right, so she's doing that. Let it get filled up a little bit. And I don't want to drive the truck over all this because there's all the rocks, and we had a big bonfire there, so who knows. She just found like some molten lead. Where'd that go?
Over by that tree on the ground.
All right, yeah, from the fire we had. So this is what we're doing here. She gets that, I grab this, she moves that there. I take this over to here. This is our water barrel, temporary. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a rain barrel. So then I pour this water into there, and then I go back and I swap them out.
So we're actually going to have to end up painting the barrels black also, because the light can get through and cause algae in the water.
All right, so I'm building the outhouse. Yes, it's a nice outhouse, and as opposed to using just a hole in the ground, I want to be more environmentally conscious and cleaner by using just an upgraded outhouse pretty much. And it's just going to be cleaner and more efficient and safer for the environment and for all the people that use it. So what I'm doing is I'm just using these barrels just to break the waste down before it goes into the ground, just so it's not just straight raw sewage just getting dumped. All right, so the way I'm doing that is I guess I'll show when it's closer to done, but right now this is where I am. Boom, boom, and you'll see the rest here in a second. Just taking this down a little bit on the inside, and this is it's a toilet flange. And I took this down a little bit just so that'll fit right there. And what I did with this barrel is I just cut this out like so, right there. And that fits there. That will go on there. And then what I'm going to do here is I've got these stainless panhead sheet metal screws, and before I marry this flange to this barrel, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with my favorite stuff on the planet, this liquid nails, fuse it around there, and then go ahead and tack it with these stainless steel sheet metal screws. Now this is the vent pipe. I might put a charcoal filter on it at some time. I haven't decided yet. I mean, it depends. Sometimes if you get like a smell or something coming out of your outhouse hole, whatever you'd like to call it, a charcoal filter is recommended. Just kind of hold that for like 30 seconds or so. And then what I'm gonna do here is go ahead and pop this onto here. All right, now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and attach this And these little caulk caps are so handy. All right, now I'm basically doing the exact same thing to this barrel that I did to that barrel, except for this one does not have the vent pipe, but it's just going to pretty much go like that onto there. I only turn the generator on when I need it, but when I do, I got this multi outlet and it charges my vape batteries, my AAA batteries for my lights so I can work at night, and my batteries for my tools. And I'm just using 3-inch pipe for all this. I'm also going to go ahead and use it for the drainage field. Just go ahead and drill holes in it. I'm cutting it with a Sawzall. I just got done the secondary barrel where the liquid's going to go after it's done doing what it does in there. And what I'm doing here is, see right there, there's the first one with the vent pipe. And this barrel is going to be sitting higher than this barrel. And this right here is going to go right in there. All right, so it's raining on and off. So I've been still messing with this. I'm just kind of trying to make a little platform. It's doing some false work there, more or less. Just trying to build it in place, get this in there so I can just kind of work from it. And I got this board here just as like a platform to stand on and stuff while I lower this down in there. All right, so I got the first barrel in place, as you can see right here, and underneath it there's just a 2x4. That is what is holding it. And this pipe right here, what it does is it falls 3/8 of an inch per foot. That is the correct degree of fall in which you want for a pipe that is performing the function in which this pipe is performing. It's still raining a little bit, and as you can see right here, I have this hole, and that's going to be the hole that accepts the pipe that will be coming from the other barrel, in which I'm getting ready to go ahead and put it into place, or at least dry fit. But right now I got to go ahead and put some more underneath that, because I mean, obviously I have to have more underneath that. All right, we're up here, we're self-quarantining because of the coronavirus, and we went ahead and built this is a outhouse, and this is called a pit privy. So what we did here is we went ahead and made it more environmentally friendly so that the sewage and all gets broken down well before it goes into the earth. And as you can see here, that's how it gets dispersed into the earth. And since this earth perks very well, it's above ground, and I mean, I might come back at some point and cover all this over or whatever, but so this is complete now, and all I gotta do now is go ahead and caulk around right there. I just got done drilling my holes. And I mean, it's done, and underneath here you can see I got it held up. It's not the prettiest, but I'll tell you, it's strong. It's super cold. It's raining like crazy. Let's go see what S&S is doing. What you got going on the fire?
Some soup and some tea. Well, hot water for tea. In the rain. It'll work out just fine.
All right, so we got our water hooked up here, and this right here, I like to call them cheater couplings. It's just like a rubber thing. It's got a hose clamp on it. So this is how I'm getting my water for now. I'm just taking this hand pump and just filling this bucket up with it. I mean, it's nothing, you know, real fancy or anything, obviously. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and test out. I just installed, I'll show underneath and show how I got all the plumbing and everything hooked up as far as drainage is concerned underneath of our outhouse. And I'll show that here in a second, but we're getting ready to try out the shower / bathtub drain for the first time here right directly. And we'll go ahead and show that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill up this bathtub. Not fill it up, but put 5 gallons in it. And S&S is, when I give her the cue, is gonna go ahead and pull the drain. And I'll show underneath here real quick how I got all this hooked up. That's just the air compressor because of the rain. As you can see back there, that is the shower drain, and right there, that is for the toilet, and then it just comes right out there. And it's got it wrapped around there, and it just follows all this, and then goes to right there. And
ready?
Yep, go ahead and pull the drain.
Alright. I hear it.
And there it comes. All right, now what I'm working on is I'm putting a rain barrel, just one for right now, right there. I gotta go grab a gutter so that it will go into that, but I'm gonna show the hose hookup and everything that I'm gonna put on the barrel and how I did that. I use like a bulkhead fitting. Now, how am I gonna get this? This part has to come out of the bottom of the barrel into that hole. This is the bottom of that barrel. I have that rubber washer too, so I went ahead and decided to go into it like that. I'm looking down into the barrel, and I have the screw right at the hole, so I should just be able to reach in there and yank her on through. Alright, now I got that through. I went ahead and put a little bit of a fuse it on there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the washer and another one. Okay, this is super exciting. I do not have the gutter hooked up yet, but I did just go ahead and transfer some water from there to that barrel. And here's the setup here. And then underneath, of course, got all that stuff. And then that hose goes into the outhouse. And then on the top here, what I have going on is I'm going to hook the gutter up so that the water goes in there. But what's going on here is we have now got official. Here's the hose coming from that barrel outside. Pure gravity. Got running water. And I just got done hooking the water up, and Sandy S has just got dinner done. She just hollered at me, "Come eat your food." So what do we got going on here?
We have roasted potatoes. There is some fresh zucchini and green beans. My classic, of course, I make every night. Can of soup. I have ham and bean soup, and there's clam chowder. And then for dessert, I am doing a little campfire peach cobbler. And of course, I'm gonna make, some tea or coffee or something.
It's the next morning, and we're getting ready to go get faucets for the sink and the bathtub. We do have running water. I'm gonna go ahead and got the fire extinguisher, which is very important. Getting ready to go check out the back real quick here. There's a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. Okay, so here's what all this looks like from here. Right now we're gonna get the gutters as well. Now I'm working on the gutters, and this is what I got going on so far. It's got the cheap vinyl gutters, and I have this filter here because this is going to be water that we're going to use, and I also have these guards that I'm going to put on last. But so that's where I am right now, working on these gutters. All right, I got it all together, at least this one side over here, and I still have to put the very top part on, but that goes on after you put it up on there. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this on there real quick. Like 6 o'clock, it's gonna be dark soon. We traded a mountain man a pack of toilet paper for that nice table right there, which is pretty cool. So what I got going on here now is I'll go ahead and jump on the roof and show the progress of the gutter installation and how I'm doing it, and maybe go over some materials in which I am using. So this right here in my hand that I'm putting on now, it is just like a leaf guard type deal, and what it does basically is it keeps leaves out of your gutter. So this is how I'm putting this on. I'm cutting right here, as you can see there, and then I'm popping that into those little, that J channel right there, into those little grooves, and then there's another little groove right here. I'm popping that into there. So we have both the window and the door open right now, and you can actually use the toilet paper as a gauge to figure out if you have positive or negative airflow coming in or out this window. As you can see, it's rapidly fluctuating between positive and negative. Positive airflow into a room is when it's coming into a window. So right now this window it's switching back and forth. I mean, you sit here and watch it, but as of right now, it has negative airflow, this window does. Got the rain barrel up, I've got the gutter up. I'll go ahead and climb up there and show it. I painted everything black just to kind of keep algae down, because that is very important for if you're going to be using rainwater for anything. You don't want algae in it. I mean, the sunlight causes the algae. So this is what I got going on up here. It's got the, as I showed earlier, the filter and what have you. And I mean, everything, it looks like it looks now, but I'm gonna finish everything at the end. I'm kind of starting to do a little bit of finish work on the inside, and there's how that is. Just simple, goes right in there once it rains. So I'm gonna go ahead and show a little bit of finish work on the inside real quick, and caulking how I'm actually able to finish this OSB as interior, because it's very unconventional. I'm using Dynaflex 230, and it's not for this exactly, but it's kind of it's a very, you can use it for a lot of different applications. So what I'm doing here is, the first thing I did is any larger cracks, I went ahead and put spray foam in. I let that set up, and then I came along with a multi-tool with a blade on it, and I just cut it down so that it kind of just filled the larger gaps that I had. And then what I hit all the places that I hit with the spray foam with a little bit of Flex Seal spray anywhere that I had that. And I did that just so that I would be able to go ahead and caulk over it easier. It would just kind of make like just a better bond for the caulk. And what I'm doing now, as the Flex Seal dries, what I'm doing is I'm hitting all the places I did not have to hit with the styrofoam with caulk. And the way I'm doing that is with my corners, I'm just hitting with caulk, and then very simply with a finger real quick, and that works fine. And then with my edges, like here, my seams between my pieces of OSB, I'm using this handy thing. It's a DAP. I mean, you should see it's a DAP cat. And I mean, I just bought it for the cat, but then I was like, holy crap, it's actually good for this. It works really good for these seams. So I just knock it right over, put a little bit on the cloth, and it works really good. I was surprised. Nighttime, it's almost freezing here, and I ran out of caulk, but I got a lot done. Got a whole lot done, but I'm done for the night. Just kind of sealing. There's a big noticeable difference. All right, as you can see, I just got started on the deck. I explained how I frame the bottom part of a structure or a deck, like the beams and the stringers, in the second video I did on framing a cabin. I got this lumber on discount. You can see because of the purple dot, every single piece has that on it, and they're not the right size, so I gotta kind of work with what I got. I'm doing a lot of rip cuts and improvising. Like I'd like for the stringers, I put the stringers on first. I explain all that, how to do the bottom part of a structure, a pole structure like this that's elevated, in the second video that we did on framing all this. Alright, I just got the deck framed up, and I just realized how easy it is to QC check it from walking at that angle. I mean, she's pretty much perfect. I'll go ahead and jump up there real quick and show it as well and get a look on that. So I did it basic marine construction style, like if you were building a pier or a marina or something, and this is pretty much what it is. I'm very used to walking on stringers building piers and stuff, but yeah, and the view is incredible. At Sandy S's is...
Oh.
You didn't know I was filming?
No.
At Sandy S's is getting the labels off with using vegetable oil. So any kind of oil stuff will work. She'll probably let it soak in overnight and then just hit it off with a plastic scraper. I got some plastic scrapers in the morning. Right now she's just getting the bulk of it. And a sign of the times, we have toilet paper blowing in the wind at the window. Alright, we have plenty of toilet paper, but we also just went ahead and picked up these cloth-like rags. There's plenty of those, and they're actually very cheap, and I mean, in an emergency, they'll work. That Sandy S's is cooking some dinner right now, and I don't know, it's probably like 9-10 o'clock or so, and she's gonna go over how she sets this up to cook. It's pretty cool. Alright, how do you set this up to cook?
Alright, so it did take a little bit of trial and error figuring stuff out, because, you know, I can cook just fine at home in an oven and on a stove, blah blah blah, but you know, we had to bring in a grill grate, and underneath the grill grate I have a real big flat rock, and then a couple smaller rocks in the corners of the grill grate, so that way it won't rock all over. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it also gives some space between the big rock and the grill grate, so that way I can get a nice hot fire going. Now the key is to burn smaller pieces that'll burn up quick and cause coals quick. And what I do is just kind of take a stick every so often and push the coals down underneath the food. Now the foil that I use is heavy duty grilling foil. You know, that way stuff won't stick to it terrible and it's not going to burn up, and it holds up really well. I've got some fresh sugar snap peas and zucchini in one packet. I've got potatoes in another packet, and then a couple cans of soup here. And then also on the other side of the fire, I have my stainless steel tea kettle, so that way I can, you know, sit back and relax and have a cup of tea while food's cooking. What I do is set a timer on my phone for 15-minute intervals, so that way I know when to just come over and flip stuff. One of the biggest keys in cooking is to not mess with it and just leave it alone. So, meanwhile, in Jake Phelps' world, SNDS is over here making some Blair Witch Project style yard decor. I hope you guys like it. I worked really hard on these.